Lost it all one day, no tears. Government took it all away in fears. Kids, stolen life, a mess, nothing left. But she fought back with every breath. A husband locked away for trying so hard. Brenda's heart took blow after blow. 15 years gone, but hope's a bright star. She showed the world what they didn't know. She's bringing it back, Brenda's new dawn. Living her life, singing her song. Starting over, no chains to bind. Loving it all, pure peace of mind. She's helping others rise and shine, teaching joy from a heart so kind. No looking back, just moving ahead. In her story, no tears are shed. Brenda used to walk these streets with pride. Her husband Chris, a patriot by her side. But the weight of the world came crashing down when the government tried to take the ground. They stole Chris away, said he was a threat, left Brenda alone with words of regret. CPS came knocking, took her children too. But Brenda stood tall, like the sky so blue. Bring back Brenda, let her light shine bright. She's been trampled on, but she's ready to fight. Don't tread on her, she's got a heart so true. Through the darkest nights, she'll pull through. Every day she fights for what's been lost, pays the price, bears the cost. Whispers of hope through a podcast wave, telling her story, she'll be brave. In the heartland, they know her name, her struggle, her passion, her undying flame. She dreams of a day she'll hold them tight, Chris and the kids in the morning light. Bring back Brenda, let her light shine bright. She's been trampled on, but she's ready to fight. Don't tread on her, she's got a heart so true. Through the darkest nights, she'll pull through.
Okay, I'm still playing. I'm still playing the song over here. Oh, there's some good tunes coming to you live from Brenda's Back, and Darren's been working hard on everything to get everything going nicely, and I really appreciate that. And it seems like it's been forever since I've seen you guys and been on here. It's been many hours. So when was the last time I was here? I can't even remember. I don't even think I made it Thursday, did I? I think it was Tuesday and Wednesday I was on last week. Anyways, what do you guys got going on? Oh, you see my comments. Yes, and I seen you there, John. And then I watched a little bit is when it was messing up with that David Weagle guy. And I'm like, dude, that's it. I got to run to the store. And I actually took my time at the store. Not that I went slow, but I like to do a fast walk in Walmart so I don't have to worry about walking out in that heat today. And I needed some stuff. So it was a win-win situation. I made it back 10 minutes before, um, well, 9, what is it? 8 for me. It was 10 minutes before 8. And usually we like to try to start about 9 o'clock Eastern time. But I think more often than not, we end up making it to 9:30, which seems to be a good time, right? Everybody's all settled in by that time. So what else you got going on? Okay. Hope everything has been good with you. Been working on my paperwork for my sons and hopes that it will work. Well, I'm glad you're keeping busy. I know, Cecilia, I haven't talked to you in quite some time, but I was talking with Jamie Nyman, and she's putting some stories like asking people reach out, which I will on my show. I will say hello. Jamie Nyman is looking for, if you're interested in sharing your story. She's putting a book together, hoping to have it done by the end of August. And I'm thinking of doing a show with her on Sunday morning. So I'm not sure. It's something about I don't keep up with everybody, and I gotta apologize. You're lucky if I can keep up with what Darren's doing over here. Those guys had to spell it out for me just before the show. But what I was thinking was it's what is it? See, it blew my mind right there. I was trying to give you the names. Oh, voice, the number 4. Voiceless, right? Voice for voiceless. I don't know if there's a the in there. Hey, Chris, how's it going? I talked to Chris the other day, and I was just texting Debbie earlier. Debbie, I appreciate you and Chris coming in and being faithful watchers or listeners of the show. I mean, you don't have to see my face up here to know there's Brenda going on and on. You can run around the house while I'm talking or whatever. That's what I do sometimes. I'll throw the show on and try to get through this pile of paperwork that I have over here. Exciting news on my husband's case. There's been some action. There's been some response to the initial brief for his appeal. And so not much longer, you guys. I'm really hoping this is going to come to an end soon because the only thing I can think is going to work out very well for Chris, okay? And I have faith that that will happen. So what else we got going on? Danielle, she can jump in if she's around. I don't know what she's doing today. She's got all kinds of exciting stuff going on, I'm sure. It would be handy if we could be tracked back to those who are trying to mess with the show streams. I'm sure the FBI can do that, right? I'm sure. Yeah, exactly. Kawinka-dink that, we have special guests on the shows and then it starts messing up. Tell me about it. I can tell you right here, this damn phone. I mean, it has been suggested I change this whole phone and the number and everything else, because that's what I say. If somebody wants to be my friend, just beware, because they can't get enough of me. They're watching me, at least since I've known, since 2012. I've known since 2012. They started watching me in 2011, me and my husband. So, I guess, I don't know if we're that entertaining, but they seem to be our biggest fans. So in anything, Chris has some kind of disappointing news this past week in regards to her son. So, I've been praying for you, Chris. I know this is just heartbreaking, just heartbreaking. And, that's why, I caught myself. I was almost like I was trapped. I was cutting through Like I was on one side of Walmart and I want to cut through to go towards the food. It was like I was trapped in like a baby section. I was like, oh my God, where am I? Because they recently like upgraded this Walmart too. And I was just like, what? I was completely turned around. I can tell you that. And it was almost like, gosh, all I'm looking at is little baby clothes. I had to get out of there. Because it's a sad situation. You got they're selling the, pools and stuff, summer stuff. You know, the kids, you can think about, and then I go to the clearance aisle and they have these things like, oh man, Sage would love that, or Chris would love that, Sometimes I find myself, trying to get it to my adult son, but he's like, I don't think he wants these things. But because I know, all of our kids were big fans of Legos. I've seen some like Mandalorian, Star Wars Legos marked down. Still, those Legos are high. I remember when my son came to see his brother and sister at a visit right before Christmas time. He went to a special Lego store because he was coming up from like the Miami area to come spend some time with the family for Christmas. Unfortunately, like I said, he had to do it through a visit with the partnership for Strong Family overseeing the visit as they take notes about, how the visit went. Oh, I did, that's really, I just don't understand all that. You spent your whole life raising kids, in my case, okay? Because I have 3 adult children. I already had 3 adult children in 2016 when they took my 2 youngest. And I thought I did a pretty good job of raising my children. In fact, I have evidence of that. And yeah, and then they just decide, okay, well, those kids are ours. Why? Because we set you and your husband up on a little bit of weed, and now your life is over. I can tell you that it's a shame because, look at, and in fact, we want to dig into the facts about marijuana and how it's helped so many patients, cancer patients, Alzheimer's, epilepsy with children. I mean, the list goes on and on. But somehow, since I didn't have a little prescription, and they wanted to shove a bunch in there to make it a felony. Admittedly, they did this at it was the forfeiture trial. When they forfeited our Jeep because this weed happened to be in the Jeep. And they waited for my husband to get into the car before they decided to arrest him. It was very weird because he had nothing to do with it. And I still stand by that till this day. But he figured he's going to take the sentence of this like misdemeanor weed charge or whatever, spend a few months in jail, and in hopes that I would get the children back. And he even made plans to stay somewhere else because it seems like it doesn't make him happy unless everybody is split up. Do you guys ever notice that? It's like they try to split everyone up in different directions. So, like for instance, when me and my husband had to do substance abuse courses, he had to go on different days to a different place. I had to go to one in a totally different direction. And then at first they tried to, they put us with this one marriage counselor lady out in way on the other side of Gainesville. It like took us an hour and a half to get there for one thing. And she was just saying horrible things, most horrible things you could imagine. Okay. And she has a few certificates or something that makes her some kind of marriage counselor. And we thought it was a great idea. We're going to marriage counselor that, like my husband says, every marriage needs a little fine tuning every now and then, right? So he was relating to some movie where it was like some comedy movie, where everybody went to a retreat, these married couples, to try to renew their relationship. But it ends up all that ended up being a mess. And then they decided that me and my husband would go to different counselors. So that's how that works. And then, like I say, it still bothers me till this day to know, like, I didn't really look into these till after the fact, but the places that they were making us go, like the Village Counseling Center, focuses on adoption. Why are you trying to take our family that is focused? Our main goal was reunification when this case plan started. Why are you sending them from the get-go to a place that main focus is adoption? And each child, again, the kids didn't have a counselor that they went to together. Each person was separate, and they went to different counselors, strangers. My son would say that this lady was asking him strange questions, that he didn't want to go. I mean, he was crying about it for weeks, because it took us I think 3 weeks to initially see the kids again. I think the first time did we see him, was it at the court or a visit? I can't even remember at this point. But I did get copies. I'm hoping I'm going to have to go through it again, but I got so much going on trying to figure out if there's anything possibly I can do in Chris's case to help with this response. I can't really do anything when I don't have a copy of the response yet. So that would be something that I would definitely be able to dig into, because this is a huge problem that they're taking the parents, not only the children, and separating them from family. They're also taking the parents. And if they're speaking up about what's going on with CPS, what's going on with the dependency courts, all of a sudden you're land up in jail without even blinking an eye. You're just like, what? Because you really think that things can't get much worse when your children are gone. You're pretty depressed about this. You really can't function very well. And then all of a sudden, you think it can't get worse. Boom, you're locked up. And then you realize, yes, it can get worse. Yeah, and it didn't even make sense. Like last summer, at this time, I was locked up in Dixie County Jail, as well as my husband, for absolutely nothing, because somebody made up a story about me. So, how is his husband doing? He's doing better. He got his tablet replaced, thanks to little old me. I will take the credit on that. Because I finally found a lady that was in inmate accounts or something like that, and she was bound and determined to help us out on this one. So I'm glad there are, very few very nice people up at that prison that made sure that Chris got his tablet. I mean, it was only a month later, and then he got his staples out, which was like a week late for that happening. But he says his leg is feeling better, and he's starting to get some encouragement with the news on this appeal and the briefs and stuff. And he's been starting to exercise again, so that's good news. He's wishing that he could just hibernate through this, and don't we all? I'd like to. That's what I used to think of. After right after the kids are taken, it was very hard to sleep. Very hard to sleep. I mean, I think sometimes he'll take his blood pressure towards the evening, and then that will help him go to sleep. But I still think he's not back on track with his medications yet. But God forbid, that's a battle for another day. I kind of took a break from that. I'm trying, like I said, after 25 years, I'm back working again because my husband's locked up. And the only way I know is to get out there and pound the pavement and get a job. And now it looks like I got a good one. That's I'm going to be getting some hours, so, and a good amount of money per hour, so I can get caught up on these bills. And possibly it would be wonderful if I could even pay my son back a little quarter of what he's done, for me and my husband. Because God forbid nobody tell Chris. Of all that he's put in for him and Chris's case. And like I say, my middle son has just been a blessing. He's been there for his siblings. And in fact, Darren, that's why I wanted to tell Darren the other day. I was playing, I was going over to his house, and we were driving in the same truck, and I played that Bringing Brenda, the synthesized version of Bringing Brenda Back birthday song, and I could see tears coming in his eyes. I was like, oh, I just had to stop it. And it didn't never affected me that way until I actually played it for him, But I thought that song was very touching, and it seems to me Darren's going through a lot of trouble to make things nice for the show, and I appreciate it. Anyways, what's going on with y'all? So apparently Sunday morning, I think it'd be 10 Eastern. I'm going to try to do this thing with Jamie and see how that goes. Priscilla, do you have any more information about what this thing is that Jamie's doing? If you could type it in or something. Because I don't know, like, is it her show or is it somebody else's show? I'm not sure who she said was running that. Like I say, I'm too lazy to look it up myself. So I'm like, help me out on this one. Oh, Lord. Yeah, so I got a full day working tomorrow, and I'm officially did my W-2 thing for the little pharmacy, the free pharmacy, and they made big news last weekend. It was last Thursday. Made big news, and I didn't even realize it. The mayor and all these other people there. In fact, I get into that. That's nice that you get close to these higher ups and think, well, hey, do you know about this crisis in this country? I'm thinking. So I'm just kind of I'm thinking of easing it into some of these. Like there's a couple of these, I don't know, legislator, congressman. I think there was a senator there, but especially I want to look into the Senator Cassidy, because I remember him sending my son a congratulations letter when he, after he completed his residency and stuff. And I'm thinking, it'd be nice if some of these leaders for Louisiana would stand up for this wrongful conviction of what happened to my husband in the state of Florida. Like how can they allow that? How can they, Louisiana, allow this to happen? Just gone up and grab my husband like he was a sack of potatoes or something, and okay, we're taking him to Florida. Oh my God! If you guys ever seen that tape, I was like in the tape. Hey, the officer, I'm like, what? You're taking him to Florida? That's just what I sounded like. Oh my God. And I'm bad about that. I put too much emotion into things, and I gotta try not to do that. Yes, sirree. Just that's what, I've been taught that all my life. It's just that you just try to keep calm. Don't put an emotion into things, and people will be able to understand what you're trying to put across better. And they won't feel like, I don't know, maybe some people feel threatened about, the way some people say things. We know how that went in Chris's case anyways. Oh, Lord. But like I say, I've got some high hopes, and Chris does too. And that's why he's trying to keep positive, help him get this with the attitude that, I'm going to be out here soon. I'm going to, we're just gonna boom, make it happen. So anyways, I'm trying to think of any CPS news or anything like that. Did anyone know Barbara Stone, by the way? I just wondered because something happened with Barbara Stone, and I don't know. Is it true? Is it not? I seen it was like the news. It was on the news, and I think it's the one I know. Anyways, I think she was trying to go into court as an observer, and then got mixed up with some problems over there. So anyway, it was in California. So anywhere flooding today? I heard New Jersey was flooding. I haven't, like I said, I haven't been able to keep up with this. Where's my friend Fact Over Lies with all the facts? Maybe I'll look in to see what she been texting me today, and it might be something interesting. Because I tell you, there's people getting away with murder, and they're not even they're being let out of jail, and this is what I don't understand. And then my husband doesn't even get a plea deal for a cartoon. I mean, that's unheard of to me. And Darren's got the ticker tape on. Look at that. Enjoy, like, and share. Boom, you know it. Because if you don't know what's happening, we're trying to keep you informed. So yeah, let me see if there's any like CPS news or anything like that. Trying to share this with everyone. Has anybody got court coming up? Classic Mom. Oh, hello. So yeah,
Yeah, and don't forget, you got the super chats now, so everybody can, if they want to work their way up the boards or whatever, they can use the super chat, and that's a good way to support the show,
yeah. I'm
support you.
wondering, do they have to
Um,
watch it on my one of
no,
my?
I think it's just on the CPS Breaking News website, on the CPS Breaking News
Because I
YouTube.
noticed when I go into my Brenda Cameron account, like I can get the crowns coming up there. How can I get them, but they can't? You know what I mean? That's why I thought it was
Because you have
associated.
to get monetized to get the super chats.
Oh, got you.
That's why. So, but anybody that's going through the CPS Breaking News ones, they can use the super chat, and then they can get you money. So, if they so please, it's a good way to do that, and it's fun too. Put little
So yeah,
designs up and all that stuff.
I'm
So
gonna
everybody
say
use your super chats to support Brenda and her show.
I'm gonna say super super chat. See, and the more you comment, the more ahead you can get in the game. See, super chat. Now
The
it's
more you
not
can
gonna
help Brenda
happen.
get
Now
ahead in
that I
her
said
game.
something. Oh yeah, well, I see. I had it on. You see it on mine earlier, where I'm number one, guys. Okay, so if you want to try to take that number one spot from me, you'll have to get in there. All right. Can you at least give? Oh, that's what I see. I'm watching it on Danielle's channel. That's what I'm doing now. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like I say, on YouTube, I'm just Brenda Cambron. I also have another channel. Give us what is that? Give us our babies back. Which one was that? Let me see. I got a couple of YouTubes, but let me see. Let's see what the other one's called for sure. Give us our babies back. I got 9 subscribers, and on Brenda Cambron, and it's not nothing's capitalized on Brenda Cambron. It might make it easier. And there's at Brenda Cambron 91, but I got 26 subscribers. All I need is what about 74 more, and then I can go do some lives on my own if I wanted to. Guys, I'm too busy to do any lives on my own. I got maybe possibly 4 jobs. I don't know. I'm gonna have to. Yeah. Well, one job I don't even get any hours, so I don't see how that counts. It doesn't count. They want to call me like once a month, maybe if I'm lucky. So, and it's not even enough money. So I'm putting them on the back burner, and I'm also taking care of my mental health as well. I think it is good to get busy with something like that, at least for a few hours a day, where you're not just like always in the house and all this, and letting this stuff overwhelm you, not to distract you from the focus, because my main focus is always the kids, no matter what I got going on. Even that I got Chris going on. I'm sorry, my focus is never, um, always first and foremost is the children. Okay, that's it. Period. So yeah, and I was noticing kind of interesting, and only enough, I was a piece of this one of my old notebooks, and it says, I don't know if you can see this. Attorney General Pam Bondi, 855-414-3300. So I think she actually took over for Ashley Moody. So she was the Attorney General in Florida before she became Attorney General of the United States. Now, so and so is mad at who, what, where, why. Dan Bongino says, well, Trump has to choose between um, blonde. What is it? Walton and Johnson is a funny radio station that I listen to sometimes over here by Louisiana, because they're in Texas, but they call her Pam Blondie. So Dan Bongino is like, it's between me or her, and I guess he's choosing Pam Bondi. So I don't know what y'all think about this Epstein thing, but I think okay, true. Epstein's believe it or not, dead or gone, out of the picture. Well, let's not talk about Epstein. Let's talk about the victims. How about that? All the victims of SA trafficking, human trafficking. The list goes on and on. Because that was one thing we should share. What was that thing? I was sending it out the other day because I thought, isn't this interesting? And where's Herbert been? Because a lot of times Herbert shares some pretty good stuff as well. I like to share some stuff on Messenger to Herbert, because he keeps some up to date with what's going on. And I wonder why it's not coming up for me here. I just wanted to, I guess I'm not doing it right. I'm trying to think about, if I could think of the lady's name, we'd be better off, Darren. But I'm just trying to go in Herbert chat. How come I can't find Herbert? Did he unfriend me? There he is. Why does it say matched? I don't understand. Okay, here's my chat with him, because I know I sent it to him. That's why I'm going back here. And I want to figure out. Oh my God, don't tell me I didn't send it to him. Maybe I send it to. I have a Stay Calm chat. Let's see. Let's check that one out. You know what I'm talking about? When she, that one lady with the dark hair, Darren, I'll never know her name. She's something to do with Department of Justice. She's the one that went through and walked through the prisons when they're making the prisons up there for these illegals or something. What is Stay Calm? All right, there. I think I sent it to that one. Let me see. Bringing it back. Oh, here it is. I found it. In fact, I'll share it to Darren right now. That way, if he wants to play it, he can. All right, I sent it to your messenger, Darren. Otherwise, I'm just going to play it right here. Let me me see. I thought it was pretty interesting. Let me see if I can turn this up first.
On some of the work that's being done here in Florida, specifically in Tampa by these officers behind me. And I wanted to call on all the American people to support our law enforcement officers. What we're seeing across the country is unspeakable as far as the increase in violence against those who are upholding the rule of law. Listen, under President Trump's administration, there is no more winners and losers. There is the rule of law, and the law is applied equally to everybody. Every single individual in this country will be treated fairly, and we will uphold our law because that is what the American people asked for. We have, since President Trump has been in office, arrested over 286,000 illegal aliens. We have also recognized that 70% of those individuals have had criminal charges convicted. They were convicted of them, or they have them pending against them. By far, we have focused overwhelmingly day after day after day on bringing in the worst of the worst and getting them off of our streets. Those are the murderers, the rapists, the pedophiles, those who would perpetuate child pornography. They would traffic drugs and traffic our children and use violence against them. Notably, we have arrested 600 known or suspected terrorists off of our streets. And we've arrested over 2,700 known members of the Tren de Aragua gang and gotten them out of the United States of America. I want to give you a few examples today of the good work that's been done here in Florida and specifically here in Tampa as well. In March, ICE Tampa arrested a 27-year-old Guatemalan illegal alien who has a pending felony charge for cruelty towards a child. We also have, earlier this week, an illegal alien was arrested right here in Tampa for producing, possessing, and distributing child pornography. Listen to that, not just for possessing it, not just for distributing it, but also producing it and committing victims out of our children. On July 7th, HSI, Sarasota, and the Manatee County Sheriff's Office arrested a Mexican national with an outstanding warrant for sexual battery of a victim under the age of 12 years old.
Jesus.
Don't upload your videos to YouTube. Upload to Restream.
Okay, so that's pretty much what I wanted to hear you guys to hear about these horrible things. And it was at the end of it, because hold up, I just want to say, I thought she said something else at the end of it. Let me see.
On July 7th, HSI, Sarasota, and the Manatee County.
What is, well, there was more.
So I think some of what you saw for our response in Texas is going to be a lot of how President Trump envisions what FEMA would look like into the future. We did things in Texas for response very different than Joe Biden. In fact, we were immediately on the ground. As soon as the flooding hit, we deployed our Coast Guard. We had helicopters and airframe that were deployed, and swiftwater rescue teams out of Customs and Border Protection. Our BORTAC teams, which I like to call the Department of Homeland Security's ninjas. I mean, they can do almost anything, and they're specifically trained for situations like that where the unprecedented is happening. And then I went immediately there on the ground and talked to the governor about getting a major disaster declaration signed. And with
hold up, because I wondered, there was something else at the end of what she was talking about Florida. Let me see.
In March, ICE Tampa arrested a 27-year-old Guatemalan illegal alien who has a pending felony charge for cruelty towards a child. We also have, earlier this week, an illegal alien was arrested right here in Tampa for producing, possessing, and distributing child pornography.
Sorry to play it again,
not
guys,
just for possessing it, not just for distributing it, but also producing it and committing victims out of our children. On July 7th, HSI, Sarasota, and the Manatee County Sheriff's Office arrested a Mexican national with an outstanding warrant for sexual battery of a victim under the age of 12 years old. HSI Tampa also arrested a 24-year-old citizen of Qatar who has an Interpol red notice against him for child rape in his home country. A 35-year-old Venezuelan illegal alien had been previously arrested in New York City for assault with a weapon. In New York City, of course, they released him. Released him without any consequences, but ICE was able to take him into custody. HSI Tampa arrested him just here in June. We are bringing these individuals to bear for the consequences of the crimes that they have committed. Specifically, those that I addressed today are against our children and shows truly the deranged monsters that they are. This is what President Trump has committed to the American people. What I've committed to the American people as the Secretary of Homeland Security is that we will continue to go after these that would commit crimes and violence against our citizens. We'll get them off of our streets, and we'll do it as fast as possible so that families can sleep safely in their beds at night. We also recognize that child sex crimes are truly the worst crimes perpetuated by the worst and most evil individuals. These depraved monsters are on America's streets today. There are more of them, and they're out in our neighborhoods, and we will find them, and we will bring them to justice. Now, in front of me, you also see a table filled with paraphernalia, with drugs, with guns that were brought in and confiscated by these outstanding officers.
So I think that's what I wanted to hear.
Others.
I did think she said something about giving these child predators the death penalty. I might be wrong, but I just don't want to go any further on that. But I thought, well, that's some good news that they're paying some attention to child trafficking and recognizing that they're busting some of these people that would harm children. And that's what our goal is, try to get it in front to say, okay, well, what about the harm that's coming to these children because of CPS and because they were taken away from their biological families or they've been put into abusive foster placements or adoptive placements. So, and or some abuse. Let me see. I thought, Jamie, did you text me? Let me see. I'm going to say, if you want to go live, you can call me on my phone. Okay, so if she wants to go live, maybe she'll tell us a little bit more of what's going on for Sunday. And I'm thinking if Darren agrees and Jamie agrees, I could also broadcast it on my Bringing Brenda Back. We can do a special for Brenda as well, so we can put it on my platform as well. And Jamie, I was just wondering, is it going to be a live show? I'm gathering that it was going to be a live show. And Debbie was also interested in knowing more about that as well. So anyways, gosh, my wrist is hurting, guys. I think it was from doing the register all day. I think I helped them lady with them bags. That's probably what it is. I'm going to put my little wrist wrap on. Okay, Debbie, you have that many followers on TikTok. What do I have on TikTok? Because I'm never able to keep a TikTok long enough to get that many followers. Let me see.
I have a big enough.
Let me see. I don't even know. Okay. Oh, it says I have what? Debbie, I need to be your friend on TikTok for sure. Hey. What's happening? Oh, good evening to you, beautiful. You're beautiful, it's true. I only have, okay, you want to know the sad truth, okay? 330 followers. I do have 2,259 likes on my TikTok. And I'm following 218. Maybe I need to follow some more people myself. See, that's the problem. I just can't keep up with this, oh, somebody commented on me, then, you got to kind of keep up with it. And guys, I think a good way to do it, and Fact Over Lives would agree, find out what's going on with your current events and do a little video about it. No matter, what it may be. Maybe it's the weather. Maybe it's, mass shooting, whatever it may be. You might want to say something, and then you could say, hey, by the way, can we, that was one of my videos right there. And you can say, by the way, can we have our kids back? By the way, there's a mass problem across the country. Am I right, Darren?
That's right, Brenda.
So what's going on? That's what I was thinking, because there's some be some crazy looking skies around where I live lately, and some massive lightning bolts.
Yeah, everybody's getting this weird weather. Like Tiffany was flooded out today in Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So you gotta watch out for what they're doing. They're putting the seed clouds in there and everything. The seeding. What do they call it? The cloud seeds. Yeah, they're
So
making it all
yeah,
crazy.
that's what
They're making it
I've
all
been.
crazy. The weather.
I mean, there's so much going on with the different storms nowadays. It's just like, that's what I noticed. Did you notice the thing I did on Florida? How the guy was explaining there's like a circles of wind, which
That's
I'm wondering sometimes that these storms are magnetized to certain places. Do you ever notice this? And but anyways, the circle that he was pointing to was right about Lake. It was Gainesville, Lake City. It went around right around Dixie County, up and around. And I'm like, well, isn't that funny? That's like the circle of the pit from hell over there in the area that he's talking about. Because as far as I understand it, I mean, I can't believe that more people aren't talking about it out of Dixie County. How they're stealing
Well, the
children.
other thing is it's the amount of children that are being lost in all of these things. Like there's so many kids that are being collected up now, whether they're actually being unalived or whether they are whatever. It just seems like there's an awful lot of kids that are being scooped up in all of these storms.
And like not accounted for. They're
Correct.
they're unaccounted for. And then even when they say, hey, we're over here in Florida like saving all these kids, well, can we have a look at these kids that are being saved? Because we got a lot of kids missing, with the people we've been talking to. So that's
Yep.
what's
And
curious
you know
to
what? And
me.
it goes for that with CPS too. Like where are all of the kids? Like
Because like I
where
say, they said, what was that, a couple weeks back, when they were saving those kids from Miami, most of them were running away from foster placements, is why they were found apparently, and God forbid they were put back somewhere, who knows.
put
um
back, not with their
and,
home.
but some of the girls were pregnant, is what they were saying. They were like 14 15-year-old kids.
Do you know that Danielle and I the other night we did a late night show, and that the population when the United States was during the Revolutionary War times was 3 million. Now the population of the United States is 330 million people. But all of this time, so then it went forward to the orphan train was what we were talking about. And did you know that there was 450,000 kids on the orphan trains? So isn't it funny that it seems like CPS, DHS, and all of them have kept the collective number of children that they take around 450 to 550,000 every year since 1860 or 1870, whatever. Isn't that a strange fact? So even when they were doing the orphan trains, those orphan trains had a collective amount of those per year, and then now CPS takes 450 to 550,000 a year. So what's with that number, and why is that? Is that like a number that they've researched and they figured that will work, and that's how many kids they can properly distribute in traffic without making a big shebang about it? It's just enough so that people don't make a noise about it. But that's a lot of freaking kids. Figure 450,000 kids divided by 50 is what? 8,000? 8,000 kids a state missing, getting taken from their families every year? I think that's what that math is, right? 8,000 times 50 is 400,000, correct? Yeah. So
Well,
there's
never good at
8,000
math.
kids, and that's a lot.
Oh man, that's I don't know why did it send me back so far in these messages. That's weird. Maybe there was a reason for that. I just wanted to see if there was anything else that I could add to that, but no, I'm put way back here. What else? Okay, I did that one. Let me see. Do, 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 do. Factor wise, what do you got? Any ideas? What? 7.3 earthquake. Where's this at? Tsunami warning to in Alaska. See? Yep. Alaska. Wasn't that Oh, and I was thinking of Hawaii. It was the volcanoes. I think past summer, they're saying that certain smell that these volcanoes put off. One lady was telling me that's a sign of the like end times. Like, well, find that in Revelations in the Bible, a certain type of smell. My husband's uncle is by Anchorage, Alaska. Whoa. Yeah, I noticed my son has his best friend, best guy friend that he went through like residency stuff through his family is in Israel. So they've got a lot of worries over there. The panhandle is under the tsunami warning. Oh, all right. Well, there you go. I mean, that's why I say Florida, good luck over there because woo-wee, my husband, Chris always said that one part of Florida, I say, oh, is it over in that in the dick part? He'll say, is it in the dick part or is it in the panhandle? Oy, oy, oy. So yeah, I never even was clear about this. So right where that corner is, Florida, you got I think that's right where a little bit over that way in Dixie County, you got Perry. Perry is Taylor County. When we had that hurricane about a year ago, it hit there pretty bad, and I think it was the year before that. What was it? It wasn't Live Oak. I'm trying to think of what it was called over there, but really blasted them over there. I mean, there's a lot of, and I think you don't know what I want to think about these storms, but it's weird. They're hitting weird places and where weird things are happening. Okay, that's well, I better not say no more. I think you are right about that number is being able to do under the radar, Darren. Yeah. I never been to Alaska. I always wanted to. Always wanted to go Hawaii as well. Hawaii. Never been to California. I lived a lot of different places, but nothing over there in what is that north, south, west. Not really. This is about probably as far as west of a bend, no? Not that great at geography, not that great at science, but and just terrible at math. But I've got the Jedi power, so that's what's important. Am I right, Darren? The Mandalorian. Is anybody with me on this? Oh my God, I love a movie. I went as part of my second part of my birthday present from my son was dinner and a movie, and we went to see Superman. Oh, this weekend. I guess the son of Christopher Reeves was so it did a cameo in it, and I didn't even notice. But I guess, he looks like another Superman himself, but he wasn't playing Superman. I think it was a good one. I liked the guy that played Lex Luthor. Did a really good job. I like that guy. They did a series, I don't know if it was HBO or something, where it's set back in the old days. And it was, I think he was playing Peter the Great, I think it was. Queen Catherine. And it was a comedy, and they would always say, Lazar. Well, I should look that up so I recommend that movie. What was that? I think it was something about the great or something. Oh, well, that's for another day, guys. I'm not going to waste your time with it. Because nobody's going to take my advice and go watch these movies anyway or shows. I'm trying to give you guys a little encouragement. Sometimes I think it's good therapy. Relax, watch a movie, a funny show. There's a few and far in between to find funny things nowadays, really. Maybe you might want to throw up, a little stand-up comedy. Dave Chappelle, I find that's he's still putting them out, and he's not anybody that wants to get into politics or anything like that. When you get into politics, when you're a comedian, sorry, it usually ruins it for me. Who's that other one? I like who's that kid from Louisiana? You know the one. Darren, help me out on that one. What is that? Who's that funny guy from Louisiana? He got to interview Trump. Theo Vaughn.
Theo Vaughn.
Yeah. I love him.
Great.
Yeah, I
I've
mean,
emailed him a couple of times. I've tried to get him to help us out. He's never
I
responded.
know. I tried to reach out like through messages and stuff like that. He'd be a good one for sure. I mean, that would be awesome because like he's lived a rough life in the beginnings. So I think somebody like that. I was thinking of somebody else too. But yeah,
Yeah,
it just.
like that whole crew of like, I don't know, do you know Kill Tony? Do you know that show?
Oh yeah, that's right, and I never knew that till just recently.
What, that Theo Vaughn came from that?
Yep.
Yeah.
My
That
son
whole
went
platform
to
would be
see him in,
Of
was
course,
it
that would get
Lafayette?
Joe Rogan and everything. But that would be great. I tried to reach out to them a couple of times, but just nobody wants to hear it. Because I think a comedy routine and a comedy something
Yeah.
comic would be a great thing for this. Remember HBO used to do those comic reliefs for like Africa and stuff. I think that'd be great to do for people with CPS, do like a comic relief for people in CPS or something like that. Because everybody just needs a reason to kick back and just loosen up from it. Because everybody's so damn tense. Like when was the last time you really laughed? Like you giggle a lot, but when was the last time you had a gut busting laugh that you were like, holy shit, I can't breathe, stop, and I used to laugh all the time. I loved laughing. Laughing was like my favorite thing to do. And I can't tell you the time I've laughed.
Yeah. Sometimes I'm on the phone with Danielle and something really cracks me up. I don't even know what. she'll like Brenda, and I just start laughing because I know what she's gonna say. I just like I don't know. And I think I done the same thing with Facts Over Lies, didn't I? We just start cracking up about something. Well, yeah. I'm trying to think though, because I mean, he initially was comedy, right? But then he starts doing all these interviews, so he's getting a little more serious. So that's why I was thinking of him. And who was that freaking other guy? That's why. So when I was calling the White House, I think it was maybe earlier this week. They keep steering me back to going through the Office of Correspondence with the president, and maybe that's what we need to do. But I'm thinking, usually because in my past experience of writing in the Office of Correspondence, it's more like they want you to invite them to some type of event, how many people are going to be there, or something like that. But I'm just wondering, didn't we talk about this Fact Over Lies? We could just maybe set an appointment to go there or something. I need to talk to the president. I'm about damn sick of it. Or Melania. Come on. I mean, don't they want to just say hi? Come on. Here we are doing all this.
Why wouldn't they want to talk to us?
That would,
especially.
But yeah, I remember one time I was on these shows rattling off some numbers that I had from old numbers for the White House. And the one that I still have that still works is that vice president for national security at the White House. But this lady, I know it's the same lady that picked up the phone again. She's like, I told you got to go to through correspondence office. So I don't know. I just can't bring myself to do it, as if I can't bring myself to do a lot of things that I need to be doing. So, that goes. It's just almost like you got some type of block. That you should be emailing this person or calling this person, but then keep putting off and keep putting off, and then you're like, oh geez, I never did that. But that's part of the post-traumatic stress disorder, I think, ADHD and all that. Because I used to be, it was part of our little nonprofit. I used to make calls like all the time. And I think that's originally why they want to take my kids away. I seriously do. Because they didn't like us calling with our little ideas of how to make this country a better place. Especially during Obama's administration. Man, you might as well forget it. Dude, I couldn't believe that he got in for 4 more years. I was like, oh my God, you got to be kidding me. I was in real shock. I wanted, who was I vote? You know, if Ron Paul would have stayed in back when he was running, I definitely wanted. Ron Paul had my vote. Ron Paul, not Rand Paul. I'm sorry, you're not living up to your dad, Mr. Rand Paul. But you know, some of these politicians are just a lot of talk, you know. But sometimes you wonder, you know, you're calling the offices if you do it that way. I guess everybody wants to do everything in writing, which is a good thing because then you have proof of it and you have it in writing. But I don't know. Sometimes I guess I'm old fashioned, want to use the phone, call these people, but they just turn it around and say, oh, okay, well, you're threatening me now. Please don't call me again, or I'll threaten you with a harassment order or worse. Like, yeah. In fact, I pulled up that guy's name the other day. You know, and I don't, you know, I may forgive because God says forgive, but gosh darn it, I'm not going to forget. Because these guys, after that guy said that to me on the phone from FDLE, then my husband got arrested. So how does that work for you? They think I'm just like too destroyed from having my kids stole that I'm not going to notice these little things, I think. But the little do they know, because, you know, they really can't, I don't think they could fathom is what a parent feels like when their children are taken away from them. There's no way that they could ever know that feeling unless it happened to them. Because I know I could have never imagined this would happen to me. You've seen the Superman in the past? So, you know, my son's a big like Marvel, DC, you know, comics. He likes all that. But he was like comparing all the Supermans down the line, like the show, even to the show, everything. They had I think they did a good Lois Lane this time too. I thought it was going to start out. It kind of started out a little cheesy, but no, I would say it's a win. We seen it. We went all the way to Lafayette to see it because my son wanted to be in the theater that's got the seats that go back and it's not crowded, and the ceiling's not going to fall in, because that's what somebody said. I don't know if you guys heard that, but it was one of those superhero movies, one of them with I think the Red Hulk in it. A little theater, the whole ceiling came in. They said luckily it was like on a Wednesday night, there was hardly anybody there.
Interesting, of course.
But anyways, I was looking up the reviews of the little theaters that are closer to me, and they're like, I didn't want to go to that theater because it reminded me of the theater that had their ceiling that fell in. Can you imagine? My own boy, you know, that's my kind of luck. Right.
I've had enough for a week.
Wait, haha, I can't call the courthouse or they would charge me with arrest. There you go. Well, you know, they didn't say that to me. They didn't tell me that at the courthouse, but they just blocked my number. Like, I can tell you right now. And it's very curious because I think they made a special recording just for me. And I could ring it to let you know. And the same thing with the sheriff department. And I know this is a weird recording, so let me see. And if I called it from another phone or said to somebody, hey, can you call up there for me? They wouldn't get that recording. Let me see. How do I want to do this? Well, I need the courthouse. Hold on. God forbid. God forbid I would do something like this. Clerk of courts. Okay, here it is. Let's see what happens.
Trying to reach is not able to receive your call.
Is that easy? Okay, let me see. Let me do it again.
Able to receive your call.
Boom, that easy. Now, do you want me to, should I go so far as to call it from this number? What's this? It'd be like magic. Is this the phone that even works? Oh no, this is my other phone. I can't do it on that phone. Oh, forget it. Take my word for it, guys. Anyways, yeah, same thing with the sheriff department. Though, God forbid I don't even live there anymore. So I don't see, what their problem is, but hopefully the hell will end soon. I just want my kids back, period. It's let the children go. That's what I say. I legally and lawfully believe that they have violated my constitutional rights when my children were taken through the dependency court. Especially when you have people committing fraud and perjury, which is the Department of Children and Families. And it's like a whole different ball game than a criminal court. You feel like you might have more rights in a criminal court than you do in the dependency courts. I think it's true, but as I understand, if you didn't get a chance to cross-examine your accuser, which was probably a CPS caseworker, maybe a one of these partnership for strong families, counselors or something like that. And I can't believe how they call them expert witnesses when they get them on the stand too. But if you didn't have a chance to cross-examine them every time that you went into that courtroom, that's a violation of your rights right there. That's what an attorney let me know. Let's see. What else is going on? Yeah, I think it's true. Same thing going on with Vinny. Then you had, Darren getting pulled over for God knows what. You got how many other cases? And they arrested me too. They arrested me. Somebody said I had a gun last summer, and I didn't. I was like, what? Are you serious right now? I never felt so like betrayed in my whole life when I'm sitting in jail. Like with my daughter, well, I can say, well, it's true. I did interfere with custody, so I can't argue that. Okay. If that's a crime in your book, okay. But the fact is that as her biological mother, if I saw her in an abusive situation, I was looking up the case laws and stuff on that when I was in Charlotte County Jail, and it said that that I had the right to do that. So, but they considered it kidnapping. Okay, first for initial charges in 2019, God forbid, was a kidnapping, interfering with custody, and crossing state lines. And in fact, that's a interfering with custody and crossing state lines. Well, when they offered me this plea deal, okay, it was like 2 years followed by 3 years of probation. But like I said, it was like one day I'm locked up in the medical because I'm losing, my grounding. Anyways, it was better than what I had to deal with before I went into medical. But it's kind of like isolation, though, really, because you're not allowed out of that one particular cell. But anyways, I forgot what I was bringing that up for. I caught them editing my audio. I can't call. Wow. That's something else. That's really messed up. And that's what I say. Now the courts are saying, oh no, you can't even bring your phone into a court building. Good Lord. If I'm going to have to leave my phone out in the car, it's going to get ruined because it's going to get so hot. That's what I don't like. Like when I go see Chris, you got to leave your phone in the car. I try to put it like next to the cooler or something because, I mean, God, it's going to ruin your device because they're making you leave it in the car. Am I right? I know around here it gets damn hot. It can freaking ruin anything. They had last year, but they tried to arrest me on the charge of special person of interest that is armed and dangerous. I swear, because my husband did this video one time. We're living in the mountains in New Hampshire, and he's holding a rifle and said something, shoots it off. Then, everything's blown out of proportion. Department of Justice put out this bulletin that he does videos armed with various weapons. I'm like, oh my God, they really twist things around. It's a big, what's he call it? A fustercluck? That's what I have a sign on my chicken coop that says it's a fustercluck. You get it? Haha. There's a little joke for you. Well, I can tell you what's going on. What time did we start this? We started about an hour ago, right? Am I right? Yeah, we were a little bit late starting. What else is 1066? Oh, police code. Oh. That reminds me. That reminds me of something, of course. I haven't talked to my oldest daughter in a lot of years and still haven't figured that all out. But the last four of her social, 0666. She's like, when she was little, she's like, Mom, am I the devil? At the time, I said no, but as she turned into an adult, I started to wonder. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Jeez Louise. Yeah, but it's kind of funny, not funny, that you have family members that will do anything and everything for family, period. And then you have family members that would do everything and anything to destroy family. So I think everybody, and if you have this going on in your life, don't feel ashamed. I'm telling you, I just lay it on out there because we got some messed up family members, distant and close. And that's not saying I'm better than anyone. I'm pretty messed up myself. If they don't understand my dilemma, well, that's just the way it is. Because there's going to be people that lie, cheat, and steal. They'll lie about you, say you're something that you're not, and it could be family members. It could be even law enforcement. So, you just can't win for lose sometimes. But you know the truth. God knows the truth, and I think eventually all the truth will come to light. I really do. And just one of these days, it's just like. I really feel that, the time has come that there's going to be a recognition or, a coming together. And I swear to God, I drew it in a picture. When I find it, I will share it with you guys. I'm still going through my paperwork, but I had a lot of writings and drawings that I did when I was like in on another planet when I was in that medical. When I found out I was going to prison for trying to rescue my daughter, I was like, whoop, 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 whoop. And then they say, but I know they start saying things like, oh, she threw her tablet. No, I didn't. I dropped my tablet at the lady's feet that was coming by through the slot. How am I going to throw my tablet through a little slot like this? Maybe that's why my wrist still hurts. Am I right, Darren? um, but yeah, like she's coming around to do meds, and I was very upset because my battery was running low on my tablet. That's the only thing I had to do in there was my tablet, right? And she says, I'm not charging tablets right now. And apparently other people said that she was pretty nasty guard. And then I'm like, oops, I dropped it, went to her feet. I didn't throw it. So then in the middle of the night, so they give me a DR for this, saying, okay, you're not going to have your tablet anymore now. You're being punished. Am I already not being punished? Good God. Yeah, but they'll even punish you more. Yeah, but then like for a whole month, I couldn't have my tablet. And then in the middle of the night, you have, they call it a hearing, some type of hearing where a guy comes like 2 o'clock in the morning to your room and, they let you say your piece, I guess, whatever you think should happen with this DR, and then they'll decide whether you're going to serve these 30 days in confinement or whatever or not. It was weird. I'm like, so you're saying I'm having a hearing on this? I said, well, where's my public defender? Like, I don't understand. What is this about? To me, that was the weirdest thing. That's another one of those, what do you call it, privately owned jails. This was a jail in Charlotte County. It was huge. That place was huge, man. Everything was brand new in there, too. It's just like, bam, brand spanking new. And everything was glass. Like, you're behind glass. It was like I felt like I was in a zoo when I first got there. Like, these people, like, I don't know who they were, like, you're waiting in the waiting room. I get there after being on a paddy wagon for like 4 days and nights, hours and hours. You're on a paddy wagon, everything's going backwards. Because the only window you got is in the back. I swear, all the way from DeSoto Parish, Louisiana, all the way to Charlotte County, Florida. That's one hell of a drive, especially when you got in a paddy wagon filled with other people, and they have to backtrack and do this and that. And so I was like, oh my God, it literally was the worst experience I would have to say in my life. The paddy wagon experience. Yeah, that was something else. And then when you get there, you figure, oh, it's going to be like county. You're going to go in and you're going to crawl in a bed and go to sleep. They say, okay, you have to wait in the waiting room. You get there at 2 o'clock in the morning. You have to wait till 8 o'clock in the waiting room on these chairs until first appearance. Who does something like that? And then every time they do count, they put you in a cold concrete cell with no blankets, nothing. I don't even think there was toilet paper in there while they do count. You have to go in there while they do count. And it was so freezing cold. I really thought I was gonna lose it then. But you were the first ones to get meals out in that waiting room, though. That was only a plus part of that. Oh, Chris says the food is Bay Correctional. That is about the worst. I don't know how these other places are, but this place is like the lowest of lows that I've ever heard about, with hands-on experience. And I think a lot of it has to do with the employees, because if you can't get employees, you're going to end up with, criminals and drug addicts yourself taking these positions of the guards. And then it ends up being an abusive situation for the inmates. Really disgusting. So hopefully Chris did have a meeting with faith-based as part of the education thing or something. So it is possible that maybe he can get moved out of the hood into a faith-based dorm. Good Lord. Let's just not hope it's. Oh Lord, I don't think it. Like I say, you think it can't get worse. Well, gosh darn it. Oh man, yeah. He thought it was. He said it's easier like to be in one of these lockdown dorms where you have to deal with one person all night instead of like 40 people in the middle of the night. But I'd say there's a big difference weighing out between men and his stories and being with women and my stories, because to me it was almost like well, I stayed at reception the whole time, and they would call it cupcake camp. I don't know if that's true because really, um, I met some really nice people there, the inmates, and I didn't mind open bay. At first, I thought, oh God, it is quite noisy and it is hard to sleep with the light blaring in your eyes. But I mean, you can adapt to anything. You can survive, just like you guys survive. This horrible um, mistake of them taking your kids. And if I could survive all that, guys, if I could tell you these stories, once I hit 50 years old, all of a sudden I'm being arrested here and there and there. I'm an old lady being arrested here. And if I can do it, I believe in you all, and I know you can do it as well. We can get through this, and I think that's the only avenue they have, and especially with this lady from Homeland Security, the way she's talking, they don't like this idea of human trafficking. They don't like this idea of children being hurt. So maybe they're going to start putting a little more attention on this, especially since he doesn't want to think about Epstein. Guess what? I don't want to think about Epstein either, but I want to think about the victims of human trafficking is what I want to think about. And to making sure that it's not continuing on, because I think Epstein had a lot of friends that are still hanging out. And this stuff hasn't stopped with his death. Or, if you believe he died or not, who cares? But I'm with Trump on that. I guess who cares? But I was kind of, I was very disappointed when I heard Trump talking about this. But I still don't change my opinion on Trump. Oh, I've always loved him. I've loved him for years before he ever became talking about running for office. I've talked to his attorney when Michael Cohen was his attorney. It was like probably about from 2013, maybe 20 through 2016. I used to talk to this guy. And he screwed me over by not forwarding that resume of Chris's to Donald Trump like he said he would. And things didn't go so well for him. He ended up in jail, and now he looks like an idiot, which he was and is. Well, I think, people should just follow through if they say they're going to do something and they honestly and truly can remember. But some people have memory problems. You can't blame them for that. If they say, oh, yeah, sure, I'm going to do that. Or, didn't I do that or something like that? I mean, we've got post-traumatic stress disorder gets us, guys. We intend on doing things, but a lot of times they don't get done. And what I'm talking about is a different situation. You're in a position where you can help somebody, and you say you're going to do it. You should do it. All right. Okay. Canada cop watch auditor was that same 1066 thing on him. Oy. Okay, maybe that's our cutest skidoo. Is that true? You're in the show, am I? You're in the show. I see this look. That's me in the corner. That's me in the corner. That's me in the spotlight. I love that. I love that REM. I love it. I love it. I love it. Yeah, I had a whole dream about REM. And that's for another day. That was very cool happenings. A lot of times I think yeah, guys ever get deja vu very often? It happens to me. I I swear up and down that I've seen a show before. I'm like, oh boy, I could even tell you what's going to happen. And Chris will be telling me, Brenda, we have never seen this show ever before. This is brand new. Chris, I can tell you. I know I've seen this before. Oh, Lord. Too many times. All right, guys. I'm going to head out. I got to get up tomorrow. I got to go to work. I got to do this and that. Not that I'm going to sleep. I still got some stuff I want to straighten out. But I think I'm going to call it a night. Is anybody there? Because last time that I did a show, then I said, okay, I'm leaving. And then the show kept on running. So Darren, are you there? I see his thing up there, but he probably took off as well. So is anybody going to cut my show off if I leave? Are you there? Okay, I hear the music. All right, I hear the music.
Live in a land paid for by blood.
All right, thanks, you guys, for joining. My ex-wife has memory
Country that was built up from sticks and mud.
So sorry.
Our ancestors crossed 1,000 miles over the ocean.
All right, guys.
Leaving
Keep the faith.
behind a past that was negative emotion. When they first sighted land, they all jumped overboard and swam. They couldn't believe they were living in freedom. The government they once had didn't need them. It was tough during the first days, figuring this strange land. Many grouped together and started a plan. They knew they needed something to keep them in line. This is when they wrote the Constitution, man, it was divine. A bunch of men agreeing never lost their mind. They gave us all our freedom, one amendment at a time. And when they finished writing, 39 men had to sign. We have freedom, you can't take away. The Constitution guarantees that. So take your false authority and go the fuck away. The next 200 years came with a price. A bunch of men and women gave the ultimate sacrifice. They did it for the people alive today. You don't hear very many taking 3 times to say thank you, whoever you are, who gave your life, and for their families left on earth alone for their life. Thank you for your gift, the life that you gave. It lets us live as free men. Oh, glory we will wave. Now we are here in 2025, a year led by selfishness. It's no surprise the government is taking over. It's a friggin' mess. Our kids are being taken by people who must be diseased. Who the hell gave them that power? These actions need to cease. So listen up, you voted officials, we are here to say you need to pay attention to issues, because we aren't going away. We come bearing the Constitution, we'll recite it if we may. We the people is how it begins. The words that follow, you can fill them in, because they aren't true as they were meant to be. You're taking our freedoms one at a time. No one's paying attention except for us reciting these lines. You don't get to take away the rights we were given. Taking away our children should get you in prison. I'm not messing around, it's no laughing matter. Give our children freedom, or feel your teeth shatter. We are the ones who make the decisions. You lost track of your job, we're here to petition. This is your final chance. America doesn't need to fight a civil war. We just need you politicians to hit the door. So do the right thing and leave this city of Washington, or turn things around, give us something to fall again. Give us back our children, not one